Hi David. Let me just turn on my camera.
Hey there.
Hey, we just be starting in a minute or two. I'm just waiting for a friend of mine to join in.
Okay. What time is it there?
It's pretty early in the morning. It's 6:45. Okay. He'll probably be joining in. I think we can start.
Okay.
I don't wanna miss the time.
Friends
Okay.
can be so unreliable.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty excited for this because he's been doing this for quite a while now. He's been interviewing people, and today it's my first time interviewing someone.
So remind me, give me the big picture of what the project is.
So this is about we started to help people get into college, and get a overview of how college works and how it will ultimately shape your thinking later on.
Okay.
We're primarily focusing on that. Uh, so okay, let's just get an introduction first. So I'm Abhinav, um,
Say your
and
name again.
Abhinav.
Abhinav.
It's pretty difficult to pronounce, so you can call me Avi. That's
Okay.
actually I did spend yesterday looking you up and reading a few pages about you. But so for people who'll be watching this, could you introduce yourself for people who don't know you?
Sure. My name is Dr. David Campt. I run something called the Dialogue Company. It's a company that specializes in helping people have better conversations by giving them the skills and the know-how about how to do that so the conversations are more effective. I've been doing dialogue work for almost 30 years at this point, and I've written several
Sir,
books. And that is my primary way of making a living.
sir, how did you get into Princeton University?
What is your name?
Siddharth, sir, Siddharth, I am
Okay,
Siddharth.
great. So, so I graduated from Princeton University in 1982. So that was obviously a long time ago. I was applying in 1978. So, the critical, I mean, Princeton sent me a letter saying I was one of 300 odd students that in this large nation who would get this letter. And I hadn't really thought about going to Princeton before. And so one school that was on my list to go to was MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And although I had very good test scores and grades, I was intimidated by applying. And I knew that Princeton had a basketball team of some renown, and I was a basketball player. And so I, partially because I was basically afraid to apply to MIT and get rejected, I decided I couldn't choose between MIT and Princeton, so I decided to come down to one particular game and how many points I would get. If I got enough points, I would go to apply to Princeton. If I didn't get enough, I got to apply to MIT. And I got just under the right amount of points, so I would apply to Princeton anyway. So that was step one. So I apply. Wait. I'd also applied for some scholarships that were from some companies. So I get I find out in April that I got into all the schools that I applied to. So yay for that. And then I also found out right at the same time that I gotten this scholarship. And the scholarship was going to pay for me my full fee to go to college as long as I studied engineering. So when I was really joyed to see that, I called the scholarship company and they told me that basically they told me that they looked at a list of the places where I could use a scholarship, and they said I couldn't use it at Princeton. I could only use it at my last two schools that I least preferred. So I chose one of those schools, and then I started responding to I sent Princeton a little postcard. If you get accepted, you get a whole bunch of paperwork to fill out. If you turn down their acceptance, there's a little card. And on this card, I wrote, I got a scholarship for engineering, but I can't use it at Princeton. And basically somebody in the admissions office looked at that card and followed up on it and found out that the scholarship company, the scholarship lady, was looking at the wrong list. She was looking at the list of places where people were using a scholarship, not a list of places where people could use a scholarship. So basically, I'm going through all that to tell you that sometimes your life can turn on very small events. You know, this one small event was me deciding to write all of that. I didn't have to do that, right? But also, even if I had written all that, somebody decided to follow up on that. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that either. So, so anyway, that's how I got. That was I couldn't have gone to Princeton without that scholarship. So that is how I got. That's how I got into Princeton.
Nice. Avi, next question, please.
Okay, how was your college experience, and how do you think it shaped your and benefited to your perspective on things today?
So a big factor in my college experience was the racial dynamics on campus. That's probably true for many Black students in America. So at that point, the racial social life was very separated at Princeton. So there were about 200 Black students, and of the total of 4,400 students. And while there were some Black students who primarily socialized with white students, the majority just socialized with other Black students and maybe some Latino students. That was true in my case. I was really happy to go to a school where there were all these many very, very educated and smart and academically motivated Black people. So I was enjoying that. And I, you know, on the one hand, that was a great thing. On the other hand, I was received with a fair amount of skepticism by the white students anyway. Like the white students at the time, you know, it's racial tension in the US. And even though it's all collegial and nice, you know, the white students would often ask us, like in our second year, what was our SAT score? Like they were questioning our validity being there. And that's kind of a headache. So if you have a whole other community that's not doing that, and that you're, you know, then you can just orient your life around that community.
Yeah.
So that's primarily, that's what I did. So that's one thing. Now, I would also say a lot of Black students were unhappy because it's stressful. You're dealing with you're talking about these people who don't necessarily like you that much or think to. But I would say that for me, I enjoyed being in Princeton. It's not like I never knew any white students, but my roommates senior year were white, for example. But I'm apparently surrounded by these other students, and I really enjoyed the mental stimulation, the people with various interests. You know, I was kind of I was a little bit socially immature, so it was nice I grew up some then. So I would say overall it was a very positive experience. And obviously you had one of the important institutions of intellectual learning in the country. So there's speakers come in and it's a very stimulating environment.
Yes. Sir, what is your contribution to the Princeton University?
So what was my contribution to Princeton? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Like academic or extracurricular?
What?
Like academic or extracurricular, like what is your contribution to the Stanford?
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
Okay. So for 2 semesters, I was a disc jockey on the radio station. I wrote a couple articles for the newspaper. So I had a little bit of a communications thing, even though I was an engineer. Maybe I didn't contribute that much. Like I think I mostly enjoyed the environment. I enjoyed long philosophical talks with people, but I wasn't super heavily involved in the curriculum. You know, the scholarship required me to maintain a 3.0 grade average, and I wound up not liking engineering. So doing that was a struggle. Like I was always on the board and about to lose my scholarship. So I didn't finish, but so it was a struggle for me to enjoy the college life and get just good enough grades that they couldn't kick me off the scholarship. So I would just add this one thing, if reflecting on my college experience. One mistake I made was not trying out for the basketball team. Like I had the scholarship, and when I went to freshman year, I had my first girlfriend. I told you I was kind of shy in high school, and I assessed that I couldn't have a girlfriend, keep my scholarship, and be on a basketball team, so I didn't try out. That was a big mistake. I should have tried out. I'm not sure I would have made it, but first of all, I could have gotten other girls on the basketball team. But I think I would have also gotten to know more white people. Essentially, my network would have expanded a great deal. And it's a great. I'm not sure I would have made the team, but I might have. But in any case, that was a mistake. So I didn't contribute. You make me feel bad. I didn't contribute that much to Princeton, but Princeton contributed a lot to me. So
rather you could tell us, what would you say was the highlight of your journey at Princeton, or some of the best moments of your journey at Princeton?
Oh, wow. Well, so one thing I did, one of the highlights was near the end. So this counts as a contribution and as a highlight. So in my senior year, I was an engineer, and I didn't like engineering. So I didn't really want to get a job as an engineer, and my grades weren't that good anyway. I wanted to get a job as a journalist. So this journalist came to town, this black journalist came to town in September, and I was thinking, well, I should go into that. How can I get into that? So I had the brilliant idea that if I should organize a conference about blacks and journalism, and I thought that if I just organized that conference between the journalists I would be contacting, the organization I'd be contacting to get the money for the conference, something would happen, and that is in fact exactly what happened. Like I through that process, and I think there was a conference. I think it was about 40, 50 people showed up, students, and we got these journalists, these journalists. But in the course of all that, I made the contact time. I had to get money from outside organizations, and one of them referred me to a internship that ultimately was my first job out of college. So it was really nice to feel like here's an example of me actually contributing something to the school, but the process contributed something back to me that was done directly.
Sir, you spent like 4 years at Princeton. So
Yep.
what is your number one complaint about school?
Oh, my complaint.
Probably like if you wanted to change something about Princeton, make
Yeah.
something better.
Yeah. So I would say that the structure of the life at the time, like I know if I'd not been black, I'd have really not been happy, I think, because the nature of the social life at the time, like it was after your freshman year, you would you live in a dorm, and then you would be in either a dining hall, there are a few of those, or you'd be in this set of clubs off of campus. They're like fraternities, but they're not. So that structure, and of course those there weren't a lot of black people in those clubs, and a fair amount of white people were not in those clubs. So the social life structure was such that it was you could easily be very isolated or insulated. So I thought that was that I didn't like that. But I would say overall, just to be clear, a big I don't know if it was a big complaint, but it was irritating to have these white people who always looked at us skeptically. Right now, I think that some of that is just where white people were at the time. I think that my suspicion is that black students now get some of that, but not as much of that because we're in a different time now, right? But that's the nature of race relations in the U.S. But yeah, it was like, even though it didn't bother me, it bothered other people a lot, and so we were dealing with it as a group, the level of skepticism we had from the white students.
Okay, so do you have any advice to high school students about college or applying to Princeton or any other Ivy League colleges, for example?
Well, I would say it's important to look broadly, like try to think more systematically. There are people who just apply to a couple of schools. I was super systematic because I got a big book with all 3,000 schools in the U.S. and I started from scratch. Okay, what are my criteria? How big, how small, et cetera. So my encouragement would be to really, and now there's more advice available now, the internet, et cetera. I would advise people to really think through how you want to narrow down your schools. There's a zillion schools out there. Like again, I'm assuming there's probably fewer colleges in India than there is U.S. per capita, but there's probably, India's a huge country, so there's probably a lot of schools. There might be more in the U.S. But the point is that there are a lot of options out there. And so what too many people do, I think, is like limit them. So they don't think about it. They like know of they hear of a couple schools and they follow that down, but they don't have a broad view. They haven't thought about, okay, things like, would I like to be in a school that's, you know, really small, like 2,000 people, kind of small, like 7,000 people, or really big, like 20,000 people, right? That decision has a lot of implications because, you know, the bigger the school is, the more you can get lost, but the more you can also potentially find people just like you, but you have to go find them, right? The less attention you get from the less adult supervision you have, right? In a bigger school, you spend it to fend for yourself. So you got to look at yourself honestly. So I'm just saying, one issue is how big is the school? Another issue is what's the degree to which the school is either, is it rural, is it suburban, is it urban? Because that has an implication for how your life's going to be, right? And what your whole overall experience is. What's the degree to which your school makes it, has a variety of majors. So if the major you think you want to go into as a high school senior, you could discover you don't want that. Well, every school doesn't have engineering. For example, Princeton did not have a journalism program. So if I wanted to prepare to become a journalist at Princeton, I'd had to, you know, I ultimately became a journalist, but for a little while. But I'm just saying I couldn't have. There was no major in that. So what I'm saying is that what I want to suggest is that people think about what are going to be the factors that might make me the most happy. So I just talked about the ability to change majors and have a wide set of choices. That, of course, that might have implications for the size of the school, right? Because a real small school might not have all those majors. So I'm just saying these things interact. But my point is that too many people don't think systematically enough. Especially given all the information y'all have now, like you young whippersnappers are so lucky now, like because you can just like look stuff up. Like it was not. You can find find out every school in the state of Ohio if you want. Like you can just look that up easily, right? But my point is that I think that people should be more systematic and more intentional about even their search for schools, so they can wind up going to places that are more likely to make them happy.
So probably you're trying to say that people should have a more organized view towards choosing colleges and setting criteria for choosing colleges.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Sir, like what class did you enjoy the most, and who was your favorite professor at Princeton?
I told you I hated my major, so I spent a lot of time in class I didn't like. So I took a class, Introductory to Philosophy. I really enjoyed that. I don't remember the professor's name. I took a class called, my other class I taught, I can't remember the name, but the guy just died, Professor David Billington. He taught a class, he was engineering, he taught a class, I think, on the urban environment. And I ultimately later on became a city planner, although, you know, I'm kind of shaky as a planner too. But I really enjoyed his course because he really opened my eyes up to like the notion of urban form and the idea that not only are there aesthetic choices, but there are practical choices that make a difference in what actually happens in a city. So, and the way he brought a certain love and passion to that and made you think about it. And, you know, he would also help us look at not only the urban form, there's the form issues, there's logistical questions, but there's also, like, this is linked to how society is structured. And like the choices that are made often either replicate or undermine societal hierarchy. So his overall, that was a course that stood out to me, and I always look back fondly on him and that course.
Okay. If you could re-choose your college, right? If you had an opportunity to go back and, you know, choose amongst Princeton or MIT or any other college for that matter, would you like go back and choose Princeton again, or do you think you might?
Oh yeah, I choose again because I mean, look, first of all, Princeton is consistently rated the #1 college in the country, so yes, I choose it again. I would say that one of the reasons why, like one of the reasons that I wanted to chose a school of a certain size is because I wanted greater access to professors. Like in a really big school, you're dealing with research assistants or graduate assistants. You have very limited access to professors. At a little school, you have access to professors. But at Princeton, because it's such highly regarded and highly ranked, the professors you have access to are world-renowned professors, right? There was a politics course that I really enjoyed, World Politics by Dr. Richard Falk, F-A-L-K, who's passed on now, but that was another course I really enjoyed. So I would choose Princeton again, but some of it, let me just be clear, there's something particularly about Princeton I want to bring up. So Princeton has this like 150-year tradition of something called reunions, like that like you can look up Princeton reunions, and it's this huge, monstrous 4-day event that is not unlike like it's kind of unique. Like it's such a like 25,000 people, including people who are not Princeton grads, come back to that, and people dress up in weird costumes, and it's just a big whole celebration of Princeton. And actually, I have often thought like there can only be a certain number of schools that can replicate that, because you have a combination of the fact it's in a sort of a exurban setting or suburban setting, which means that you don't have a lot of distractions that you would have at the same size schools in an urban environment. So it's kind of focused and concentrated. So your social life is on campus for the most part. Plus, because it's such a top school, there's a certain kind of pride, even excessive pride, that might take place, and that itself breeds things. And then because of its history of being such a top school, thus like you get to know people, and you know people whose parents are the heads of companies. That's one regret I have. One regret I have, like I said, is not getting to know more white people, because I wasn't getting to know people like that, right? But I would say I would choose Princeton again, because like I've been really heavily involved in Princeton at the reunion setting, because it's such a communal thing. Like people, there's an extra feeling of passion about it that you don't normally get at other school. That I think people love their school, but there's a whole crazy thing about Princeton that is kind of a fun thing for me. So I'll say one more thing about that. So one of the things they do as a heightened moment of this whole 4 days of partying and all that is they have all the classes line up. All these people, alums, have come back, and they have them line up in order. And then the 25th reunion comes back, and they walk through the whole parade, which is from oldest to the people graduating. And basically, so as you walk, you see people get younger, right? And then as you're any place on the parade, people walk past you, and you see them get younger, right? So it's a weird kind of a time warp thing that is kind of, and then people cheer. There's little cheers that people make for each other. And it's just like, you can look up, go to YouTube and look at Princeton reunions. You get a sense of the level of partying that takes place. So you might even see me, because I have my own sartorial style that is very outstanding. I put a lot of effort into my costume. But anyway, my point is that that whole level of just like crazy Princeton love is kind of stimulating. So I don't think I would choose another place.
Okay, so speaking of how good the amount of Princeton love and everything, I had this very specific question. So given Princeton's history, such a rich history with world-renowned professors, isn't it overwhelming to get into Princeton and be part of that history? And probably like if you could tell us something that's special about Princeton, makes it different from other. I think the reunion should be one of those things that is special about Princeton. But also,
Right.
if you could tell us, is there a perk, or are there secrets or inside jokes that only people from Princeton know? So, something like that.
Okay, sure. So I'm just looking around, make sure nobody sees me. It's just us, right? So, okay, so there's something called the locomotive, right? So remember I'm telling you about these reunions, right? So people are walking past each other. So one of the things that they do, one way that you can like, parades are long, and so people need stuff to keep them going. People are drinking crazily, but you still need something else. So one of the things that people do is you decide to give a locomotive to the class going by or the class you are going by. And so there's a thing that you go. So I will do it for you. There
Sir,
you go.
Sir,
What's that?
what was your biggest challenge at Stanford, and how did you face it?
I wasn't.
Sorry,
Is he talking to me? Because I didn't go to Stanford. Is he?
yeah, sorry, Princeton.
Okay, I thought he wanted to know the inside. I thought I was telling him.
Siddharth, he's completing question, and then we can move on to his question next.
Okay, okay, next question.
Okay, so anyway, you can look this up. So basically, you go, hip, 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 tiger, tiger,
Sir,
tiger, sis. What's that?
yeah, sir, if you could give one advice to 16-year-old you, what would it be? Last question, sir.
I guess he doesn't want me to finish that.
This is
Okay.
last one.
Okay, so Siddharth, what did you? If you say that again?
Yeah, if you could give one advice to you, 16-year-old you, what would it be? Okay, sir. Finish your question. Okay.
So, the advice would be, as much as you'll enjoy getting to know your fellow Black students at Princeton, make a special effort to get to know some white people. Because these white people that go to Princeton, like their parents run the world, or they will run the world. And so if I've been more connected to more white people, I think that that would help me in my career. So I would say branch out. The point is branch. As important as it is to get to know people that you are naturally drawn to, branch out to spend more effort to branch out to people that you don't know, because getting to know those people might really benefit you in the long run.
So, in a sentence, you mean to say you want to diversify your networks?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah, make sure spend extra energy to diversify your network while you're in school.
Okay.
You can look up Princeton Locomotive. You can look it up.
Oh wait, could you just complete it? I am really curious. Hip 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 tiger.
Goes hip 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 tiger 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 sis 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 boom 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 ba, and then you say their class name. So it'll be like 82, 82, 82. So if we do that and we go by, let's say some we're going by and the class of 2000 does, the 2001 do that, then our job is to say it back to them. So go to hip, 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 tiger, 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 sis, 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 boom, 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 ba, 01, yeah. 01, 01. So, and then everybody goes, yay, because we did it, right? So it's a whole, so that's like an inside thing for that Princeton people know about.
Interesting. So thank you for the interview, sir. It was fun interviewing you.
Yeah, like we really liked interviewing you.
What'd you say?
We really liked interviewing you.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad it was helpful. So what is this? So if you could send me some of the project this is for, just so I can know. I don't think I've ever talked to somebody who's in India. So if you could tell me what the project, just send me something.
Okay.
Project.
Just so I can know what it is.
Siddharth has this YouTube channel, and he's been interviewing various college undergrad students, grad students, or people who've already completed their college, and like you've already completed college down the road. So he's just talking to them and trying to help a lot of new people. For example, I just got into college this year. I mean, this is my freshman year, so just help people like us. I mean, I'm already in college, but like other people who will be incoming into college. So probably Siddharth will send you the link to his YouTube channel. He has a lot of graduates from I think Stanford and MIT and other colleges, right, Siddharth?
Yeah. So like it will be your experiences at college will help students to know them better. Like how can they improve? Like what? So they already know that what challenge they are going to face at the college, specific college they are going to, and they have plans to handle it. So like on the college website, they write only good things about colleges. But like if you will ask someone who is at college, so he will tell like what is the issue at the college. Like it could be drugs, it could be food, it could be like management. So he is aware of what is the real situation at the college. So this is what, yeah.
Gotcha.
This is, Yeah.
I would
Thank
highly
you, sir.
recommend Princeton to people.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Take it
you.
easy.
It was
Thank you.
Yep.
great.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Abhi, nice.
Okay, it was fun, man. The first one was fun.